For me, it's a combination of the quality and like how appropriate the program is for me, and that kind of influences the location as well.
Cost and the time commitment.
Any place or graduate program that boils down to just having passion and interest in what they're doing is incredible. And I could
I'd consider if I could apply for it right away or if I'd have to wait a few years and get job experience for it. And then another one that I would consider is the length of it. I would rather do a 1 to 2 year program if possible, and it would most likely be a master's degree. I don't think that I'd do a PhD.
The cost and also the intern opportunities that they provide.
I'd like to see how intense it is, right? For example, if it's really hard to get into, if it's rigorous in terms of the course load, I may or may not. It just mainly depends on how if I'll be able to manage for the most part. If, for example, it's too difficult and many students aren't able to do well, then I may not apply to it. But if students are able to generally do well and it's well known, then I can definitely go from there. Another thing that I'd like to take into consideration is possibly the duration of the actual program in and of itself. If it's really long, if it's more than 4 years, then I may not attend it. But if it's at around 4 years, then I may attend it just mainly because I may have other priorities as well.
I would say cost and internship.
The cost and the location.
Definitely the cost, and I'd also say how good the professors are.
I think internship opportunities and just the degree's authenticity in itself are the things that I consider the most because I'm looking for the optimal way to further my future career path.
Cost and time.
The cost and the time that it would take to receive a graduate degree.
The two factors I say I would consider most are cost and time commitment.
Probably cost and the internships available.
Time and commitment.
Cost and what the program specializes in.
Two factors that I consider most would be cost and location. I think for me it's important to consider if I would be able to afford or plan to afford the graduate program, and also where would be the live-in for this, to consider any other aspects such as volunteering or anything I'd be able to participate in.
I would say like the locations and also like the resources from the program.
Programs that I've been in where I felt the most included were the ones where I had like the space and the voice to kind of share my opinions and be a part of the conversations.
Academic programs can provide surveys that allow students to anonymously share their feedback so that they know what they can do better.
accessibility first and foremost on the learning grounds, and then also cultural inclusion on the basis of everybody's cultures. There are different things that impact perspectives and beliefs, and any kind of support in that regard.
Having like panels where they would invite people to share their experiences with either applying or being in the program so that they could get insight from a bunch of different perspectives and then make their program as inclusive as possible.
By providing resources for students to reach out, such as like counseling centers, can help students feel safe.
Just professors making sure students feel cared for and know that it's a safe space. So like, for example, like before any discussions that we know or that might be have like students might have opposing views, make sure that students know that that it is a safe space and that there should be no disrespectful comments or anything, and that they won't be tolerated.
And then how can academic programs make you feel safe and included?
Having good communication with professors.
Like having an open door like policy, your teacher being very approachable. I feel like that would make the classroom more open to everybody. An academic program can make me feel safe and included by actively seeking and implementing my feedback and ideas for course improvement and additions to the course as well.
Feel safe and included by providing resources when I need them, and also like reaching out and asking for my opinion.
By offering opportunities for students to share their voice through like review forums, etc.
By listening to my needs and actually understanding what I'm trying to get out of the program.
So giving plenty of opportunities to each student, having an anonymous platform where everyone can share their ideas and thoughts.